Hello and aloha pa, the Baha'i greeting to everyone on the planet. My name is Abbas Temori. Time is 11 o'clock. It's 30th of August. I wasn't planning to bring up this video. And then I decided to just have the shortest video that I've ever had in this series. You know, I am the Elder of God, His envoy on the earth. It might look creepy and weird to a lot of you, but is the truth and the reality. And as such, when something happens of a huge magnitude to the planet, to the people, I usually get informed about it. I'm going to inform you the catastrophe, the biggest storm, is coming. It's right on the corner. Might happen tomorrow or the next few days. In my vision, which I saw it 3 times, I, with few people, we were on the higher ground, and this happened below, somewhere in a valley, in a big, huge area. I don't know, was it a city, at least, that just crumbled and collapsed into dust, or it was a state or a country or half of the planet, but it was big. And I was told that this is just a prelude to the bigger things that's coming. And it is the consequence of what we have and haven't done. I don't know, was it a natural disaster or what was involved with the people. I'm of the opinion that there are people involved. And lower ground, it could mean, since we are in Canada, it could mean that it's happening in US. I hope not. So I was going to stop this video at this point. I'll let things happen and then talk about it. But as you can see, the TV is full of all kind of news. News that are terrible. Terrible, terrible. What's happening in Iraq right now, with these radicals, youth, and what they're doing, is branded as being very inhumane and catastrophic, you know, what they do. I just thought to talk a little bit about it. Not on a political view, because I can't take sides. I'm on the side of the righteousness. And people that are involved, who knows, they could change and become a better people in future. I might turn into a bad one, who knows. But what is happening right now, though, is more a symptom of what we have done and what we haven't done. This is too obnoxious, is very, very, is a serious anarchy. There's no organized thinking and thought behind it. But let's not cheat ourselves. Those guys are out here too, all over Canada, Not as much. A lot more in US and many, many in United Kingdoms. I don't know about Australia. You know what happened in Ferguson? The one boy died. And there are looters and opportunists lurking for any situation, looting the stores, robbing people from all over, completely outside of the town. They're just coming. The people in ISIS are not any different. But this particular movement, if I can call it really a movement, it's definitely a Western made. Most of the, as you hear the news, many of these kids are from Canada, lots of them from US. I heard 500 of them, they were from United Kingdom. These are the boys that they are born and raised in the West, and they're going back there. And they're trying to do what they're doing. So we sit down here and we try to, close our eyes and we say that, okay, they are this, they are inhuman, this and that and that. But if you sit down and talk to them, they will have a lot of stories to tell you about discrimination, about racism, being singled out, putting down. It is happening. By the people here. Mostly the white people. And mostly the Christian fundamentals. Okay? They have a lot of a story of humiliations. So the question we have to ask ourselves in United Kingdom, in US and Canada, why is it that we bring these people here? They're born and raised here, many of them, and now see what they're doing. It is the product of the West. If we really hate them that much, why do we bring them in the first place? And if the system and majority of the people are not responsible for what's happening, then why don't we have a system in control to control what happens to the mentality of these kids? To me, however, the way I looked at it as an elder of God, it has a bigger root. The problem is not just let's control this and let's control that. The real issue that's happening is that we have been creating, and right now it's being created, everyday devices. Now there's drones going everywhere, cell phone, internet, all these medias. When you make things, it changes the culture. For example, texting is turning the people into being mute. They don't want to talk. This is culture changing rapidly. So much material progressed from one side, shoveling the market, before legislatures are able to manage it. And their management is the very basic right try to preserve, but they have no power over the impact of the psychological, social, especially long-term effect of these things. They're not bad things, it's evolution, but it's lopsided. Ever since 1844, when the Baha'i faith was revealed by God in Iran, let's look at the progress of the ideology among the people as opposed to the progress of the material. Is 1 to 1,000,000. The best ideologies that we are seeing is the reactionism of the religions of the past, both Muslims and Christian, they're culprits. They're introducing so many gargantuous ideas, inserting it into Islam and into Christianity, making something so monstrous, a perversion, a total perversion of both of these religions, exploited heavily. Can you believe in our century this satanic reverend in the United States, Reverend Haig, actually goes on the TV and with his divisive ideas humiliate Muslims? What do you think the impact of these things is? What are the definitions of the laws? Aren't these hatred materials? Well, certainly it is, because it hurts a lot of people. I'm a Baha'i, I'm not a Muslim. I've suffered by the Iranian Muslims. My community has suffered. My countrymen has suffered from them. But still, when I see something so lopsided, I'm amazed how people even see it. How many racist discriminators are out there to hear to this fellow. On the top of that, he comes and defends the Jews. So it gives an impact that Muslims, they think Jews are all perpetrators of all these things. They're paying him to talk about these things. Well, I've been in Israel. There's 2 million Muslims in Israel alongside of the 6 million Israelis. None of the Jews, they like what they see. This kind of a defense mechanism that there's begetters, the Christians in the south of the United States trying to defend the Jews, it's all bad, derogatory. That doesn't help the situation. Jews are not against Muslims. They're not against Palestinians. Go see it for yourself. I don't know who it is. Maybe a minority of them, just like everywhere else, that they're called Likud Party, with their Prime Minister right now, Mr. Netanyahu, who's the hijackers of their elections. That's what they were telling me, that this guy hijacks our elections all the time. Jews in Israel have nothing to do with these things. They don't want it. They don't want this kind of a defense from Mr. Haig or anybody else, especially Christians. They're just throwing 2x4 into the fire. Just adding to the fire. It's not helping. Telling the truth, it helps. It won't tell the truth. So anyways, this kind of from the Baha'i faith in 1844, we're getting this kind of a Christianity of Haig. And that kind of Islamic ideas, like bin Laden among the Sunnis and Ayatollah in Iran, it's really going down. No progress at all. So in the West, people are smarting up. They said religion is no good, let's just get rid of it, and they went without religion. Well, going without religion is going without water. Sure, that's a poisonous water, it kills you, but at the same time you have to have water. You don't have water, you don't have families. You know, there's no loyalty then. Nobody's going to upbring the kids. Nobody enjoys, really, the responsibility. Many don't. And then the constitutions, such as United States or Canada or Western countries, they trying to fill up the positions of the religion. What is the role of religion? Historically, it's formation of family. The family laws, where man and women, they love each other because of their common love to God. to their fellow human being. Primarily, they are loyal to their ideology and to their belief, as a result of which they're loyal to each other. So the government of Canada sees that, well, there's no religion, what do we do? They create family laws, and then it's just total bullshit. Thousands of men, they can't see their children, they're humiliated. Women have to change into men. They just don't have the genitalia. Their software is all male. As a result of this. And they're trying to fix the problem. They can't manage, these politicians, how family should be formulated. All of it is, where is it? They're all deteriorating. So this is the problem. Material progress in the past 150 years has gone like a hip of the mountain, waiting for the legislatures to say what to do about it. They can't even keep up. On the other hand, the management of God, which is Baha'i faith, has been totally ignored. Because in the name of science. And yet millions of cults and religious ideas every day, mushrooming in US and Canada, everywhere. Both in Muslims and in Christianity. So people don't pay attention to those. Then they're sitting down here, as Persian they say, the onion was complaining from the smell of the garlic. They don't know what they're doing themselves in the US. This system, as it is right now, is a terrorist maker. Look at that guy in Norway. Look at this schools shooting every day in the United States. Too many rules with no spirit. Too many regulations. And the system of God is being ignored. 20,000 people died. They gave their life. 7 million Baha'is in the world. 1 million of them right now, they're teaching everywhere. Completely ignored by the system. Something that is evolved, just like the creations. Baha'i faith is just like the nature. It is not a Euclidean movement. Its affinity with the creation is so close that you can see the creation of the nature and the revelation of the Baha'i faith are one and the same. Same person is behind it. But we ignore that. Then we don't have anything in place. What did we do? Okay, let's see. Let's sum it up. The management in the Western society, now everywhere, is called free enterprise, based on which there are winners and losers. One person is happy as a winner, millions are unhappy because they're losers. Well, many of those losers, they can't take it. They get frustrated. So, what's happening in Iraq, especially this particular movement, is exactly the reflections of the failure of the Western society to be able to embrace other cultures within it, in spite of their outward exuberance of multiculturalism, of accepting others. Underneath, though, they have no management in place. They have no idea how to make black and white really get along and love each other. Now, it went long term that we can see now things are changing. But the new problem that we're facing right now is the difference between religion, especially Islam. These kids in ISIS have not come from Saudi Arabia. They've not come from Dubai and Kuwait or Jordan. These are healthy societies. They don't produce them. These are coming from the West. And the Western contaminated area, such as Libya, Egypt, Palestine. And what they're doing right now? We're attacking them. You know, if there was a rule of justice, a shred of it, they would have to put Mr. George Bush Jr. into the international court for what he has done to Americans and to 1 million Iraqis. Stirring up the whole thing. How much his father told him that, son, do not remove Saddam Hussein. I could have done it if I wanted to after Desert Storm. I let him go because the son of a bitch has learned how to control people. We need him. His son said no. A football coach, baseball coach, whatever hell the coach he is, he decided to do it. He goes to Afghanistan and forget to make the conspiracy against the regime of Iran, the pass over and goes to Iraq and hit the guy who was in the payroll of the CIA. So the Iranian, these Muslim, they said, God is with us because Americans, they didn't see us. And they tried to go create democracy in Iraq where majority of them are Shiites. Well, guess what? Majority of Shiites would respect Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran, who is Shiite leader. Then you're a loser, Mr. Bush. Where were these American general dopers? They're all on dopes, I tell you. Because, or they are just completely godless. Or they are so egocentric, egotistic, selfish that nobody come up and say, this is a mistake. Didn't. Now we're facing this. So, what do you have to do after all of this? I said, I think Americans have to understand. We don't even understand what a Republican Party is. They're conservative. Abraham Lincoln was one of the conservative, but he was conserving America and the truth. These Republicans are conserving their own pocket. There are people like Ron Paul, Dr. Ron Paul, but nobody pays attention to him. I'm not saying he's the brightest, but I'm saying he's sincere, but nobody see him. Why? Because he's from Texas. Probably. Location matters, you see, in US. I think if President Barack Obama does not have a gun over his head for what every day operates at the smallest little bit of a freedom that I think he has to come and say the truth, a lot of truth that he knows. Let us sacrifice our political views. Let us sacrifice our life if it's necessary. The truth always worth it to die for. He has to come and tell the truth to Americans. What's happening? What do we have to do? If he's a truly honest person, he would attract all the Americans, all the parties. Right now, Americans, politicians, those who are good, but they're godless. I know majority of them are good. They got to get together, both Republican and Democrats, to see what to do. Let's talk about ISIS. Let's talk to them. Tell them what happened to you. Where is these things coming from? Find the root cause of it. Address the issue. Simply branding them and saying these things is not going to solve. And not doing anything that Barack Obama is trying to do is not going to solve the problem either. We have to be brave. We have to go through it. Let's die for the truth, guys. And, on the other hand, civilized Muslim country, like His Majesty the King of Saudi Arabia, those excellencies, the Emir of Kuwait, the Khalifa of Dubai. These are highly educated people. You don't know that, I know. They're highly educated. These are not Saddam Husseins. They are all educated. Very well. They know what's going on. And this is not their type of Islam or Muslim or belief or anything they want for anybody, never mind Muslims. So why can't they, the King of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, why can't he invite Muslim clergies from all over? Create a path of Islam. What's in the book? So at least the youth, they don't fall for something so belligerently wrong. There has to be effort. In the Western society and in the Eastern society. I'm not expecting all of them, but I am expecting somebody like the King of Saudi Arabia. This man is extremely smart and a good person. They run a just society. It's different completely from us, but that is what 95% of the people they want. Okay? He may not even agree with it, but that is what people they want. So, but surely this kind of activities that's happening, it's not what any Muslim who has read Quran once can see that this is against the book. This is bid'at. This is right against the book. Who's the perpetrator of all these things? I told you the root cause. But when the environment is ready, they're opportunists. Just think about it. Who's benefiting from this? Think about it. I'm not going to tell you. I know who's behind it. I know which country is behind it. I know which country wants to divide Iraq into 3 different Iraqs. Because they have a plan. They are putting money down for this. But yet again, we are leaking in the West. Or else 500 Muslims, national of the United Kingdom, would not attend there. Believe it or not, those boys in ISIS, they would not attack England. That's not what their head is. They know this is their country. They're born, raised there. They won't do it. But they want to do something else somewhere else to free themselves, exhaust, release from the shit they have taken in England, from the Christians, from discriminators, putting them down. This is where they go to release themselves. And it doesn't matter. Philosophy, not required. We're just gonna go. It's a game. It's like the movie you guys made it. Rebel without a cause. This is it. These are the rebels without a cause. Somebody has a cause. Government. Some governments have a cause. Definitely Syria is one of them. They like the separation. I think is inevitable. That Iraq at the moment right now, because of what has happened, there has to be 3 Iraq. A Kurdish Iraq, a Sunni Iraq, and a Shiite Iraq. This is it, if we want to create peace. But this should not happen one-sided by the United States. It has to be by the states, by the NATO. Not this time for a military expedition. Something else, a cultural one. That's a war too. You have to fight that war. Okay? And they have to have Arab leagues and definitely mighty power like King of Arabia, Saudi Arabia. People respect this man. close, I don't know, to 500 million people, they have to initiate something serious to explain what Islam is not, at least. These actions are not Islamic. Muslims in the West are falling seriously victim to these things. And I tell you this, not as a Muslim, I'm a Baha'i. I believe the religion of Islam is finished, it's over. So is Christianity, a new revelation has come. My stand is perfectly clear. But nevertheless, as a Baha'i, we are told it's not necessary for the Muslim to become Baha'i or Christian. It is necessary, however, to understand the right religion. Islam cannot be that harmful. Christianity cannot be that harmful to nobody. Well then, why do we have people like Haig even talking? You know? Legislature is not going to help it. We need heart. We need soul. We need power. We do not need to have fear. We have to talk about it. And I was talking to somebody, I say this and I finished. He's telling me that since you are from God, and you're the elder of God, as you say, you sit down and have coffee with God. He said, why don't you guys fix it since you have the power? I told him that the grand scheme of the universe is bigger than what you think. God has created this universe, and He knows for the intelligent mind it's very hard to live in. Instinct beats millions of times the intelligence. The instinct of an ostrich, 5 seconds after she's born, knows the natural enemy. Man doesn't have instinct. Because instinct does not let you to continue to be existing next level of life. So God have created few mechanisms, one of which is reaction for action. You touch the fire, it burns, so you don't. That's one way of learning how to live. Then He has given you thinking, to think what to do, to get out of the situation. For many, many years, He saw no progress is made. This way, these people have to live many, many years. So He created a shortcut. Adam came, was the next first messenger of God around here, and even there were many other Adams before him. There's the Adam we know, or Mano in India, or other places. Brought certain things for the people. Tell them, well, drinking doesn't work, Baha'i faith says that smoking doesn't work. You want to marry, you have the permission of your parents. As a shortcut. So you don't have to waste your time by the action to reaction and by thinking to find this out. We will tell you ahead of time. But more than that, we don't do. The team of God, we do not do more than this. Because if we fix everything, then you're not able to have willpower after you die. And if you don't have willpower, you can't exist. A boy, a millionaire boy, billionaire boy, who has been spoiled to death. He's not even potty trained. Suddenly, this pampered, fully boy, suddenly everything collapses around him and send him into the bush and tell him go to live. Oh, of course he dies right away. Because there's no willpower. He's not done nothing himself. So for mankind, in order to continue to exist from this dismal womb into the real one, he has to have willpower. If it doesn't have willpower, it dies. How do you get willpower? By fixing the problem, by solving it, by willing to do it, by exerting. It's just like starting to walk. When you do that, you can survive after you die. God will not do it. I asked him, why can't I have 50 million? I'm going to start to do something in Canada. That'll turn things around. He told me from Adam to now, of 6 major religions, they promised that I, the manifestation of God, Baha'u'llah, come. I came, Bob died, I went to jail, my son, grandson, and as soon as we go away, we throw one test for the Baha'is. That test called Abbas, me, to tell them something. Simple. They all failed. He said to me, I don't want to invest anymore. I saw him angry. Very angry. I'm letting them down. But you know what? Go do something if you want. He said to me, if I want to make them Baha'is, I'll do it like this. But then I made it. They didn't do it. They have no experience of the new device. They're going to turn it into dictatorship again. They're going to have to get themselves. And they failed under your test. All the Baha'is. This is the cream of the crop. The best of the best the planet can offer. They all failed to do. What do we do? I redefined Baha'is. I said the Baha'is are not those who signed a piece of paper. They're not Baha'is. They might be, I don't know. But that is not the criteria for being a Baha'i. Baha'i faith is a level of understanding that you know that you are a part of a big picture in which all the people of the earth are chained together to form a bigger biological being called humanity. When you understand hurting another man is hurting yourself, then like my body knows that you are the right hand and you can't beat the left hand, because they are both a part of one body controlled by one brain. But if my hand starts to beat my other hand, that means I have no brain. I'm crazy. But that is what we people are in the earth. However, many of us are not like that. Many of us. Those who are not like that, they are Baha'is. They just don't know it, because Baha'i faith is not a name. Bill Gates is a certified Baha'i, I say so. Even Sean Penn is a Baha'i. Brad Pitt is a Baha'i. Sam Pot, the woman in India, she's the best of the Baha'is. Nelson Mandela is a Baha'i. And there are many people in the earth. Some we don't know at all. Some on wheelchairs sitting and watching a television. They're Baha'is. Which means they have reached to that level of understanding that they know they are a part of a bigger picture, in which all the humanity, all the people are chained together to form a humanity. It's pieces of jigsaw puzzle. We are all pieces of a big jigsaw puzzle. We have to find a place and put ourselves into it. So there's no point attacking people in ISIS because they're failing to understand. Or these Americans in the South that they're attacking blacks many times. It's ourselves, people. We have to go and educate and get a slap on the face sometimes. It is injured, but it is part of my body. It pains, but it is part of my body. It's a part of humanity. I cannot have my right hand to dance when the left hand has been hammered. It's not possible. If you get to that level, you're a Baha'i. So those who are thinking this way, they have to get up. They have to do something. This upheaval is coming now.